Great. Hi, everyone. This is Heather Warren of Confidence Solutions, and I am so lucky to be able to do a mini Sort Out My Heart session with my colleague, friend, longtime client, Lovisa Fung. Thank you, Lovisa, for doing this. The purpose behind it is to model or show an example of how I work and the breakthrough that you could possibly have. And honestly, Louise and I have just been chatting for 5 minutes and trying to figure out what focus or problem that she is going to look at in this session. But we haven't unpacked it together before. This is brand new. So it's a really organic process that we're going through. And I really invite, just deep listening, deep sharing, and the idea that I'm here as the facilitator. So I'm here to facilitate Lovisa's process, really to listen and ask questions and go in at a deeper and intuitive level and helping her to access her own breakthrough. So we may or may not, thank you, Lovisa, for doing this, but we may or may not have the ultimate breakthrough, but just by sharing and unpacking it and having another person hear you can do really magical things sometimes, and it can offer the clarity that you're needing. So thank you, Lovisa. Did you want to add anything or share anything about yourself or?
No, I'm excited to begin. Let's do this.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you. So how this works, it's a combination of my training in mind clearing and intuitive work and deep listening and focusing. And it's to really help you access your inner truth and your inner wisdom. So there are no judgments about what comes up. We're going into your subconscious, and your subconscious can be messy. It can be filled with contradictions. That's okay. And it's the idea that when we just explore it with curiosity and not judgment, then all of a sudden you can get into a deeper awareness of what is really going on. All right. Now, just to give everyone a sense, Lovisa and I worked similarly to this before, so it may feel like she's a natural at this. There's no pressure if you do book a session that you have to be as open to sharing in the more self-aware sense. It's a journey. So Lovisa is okay to start?
Mhm.
All right, excellent. So we spoke earlier about the problem we're looking at is how to keep my boundaries when sharing my knowledge with others.
Mhm.
Okay. So even though we've spoke before, but tell me everything about this challenge that you're having so I can fully understand how to keep your boundaries when sharing your knowledge with others.
Yeah. So, I so in my realm, in my field, in education, especially, in the university realm, um, I have we're always exchanging ideas with colleagues and I don't know, in conferences and in meetings or people find you, find me online, and things like that. And, they're people who, want to have knowledge exchange. And for me, I get excited about that. I really enjoy that. Um, but at the same time, sometimes, I think about boundaries as well in terms of,
Mhm.
when I'm sharing my ideas, for instance, I don't know, sometimes like it can get it can be used, utilized,
Mhm.
in a sense without giving credit where it's due, right? And it sometimes doesn't feel good when you know that some people have intentionally, kind of taken your words or your ideas and then kind of go with it. It doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't feel very good. It almost feels like, I don't know. It just, yeah, it doesn't feel good. Uh,
Mhm.
almost like
Mhm.
betrayed in a sense, and like it's not fair. Um,
Mhm.
right. And then there are times when, the majority of people I exchange ideas with, it's just very nourishing. It's, amazing, like
Mhm.
individuals who really care about what they do and,
Mhm.
you know, and that is very fruitful. And I really enjoy that. but it's just
Mhm.
sometimes encountering, there's some people, it's almost like feeling like being used.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Yep.
that's when I go like, where do I draw the line?
Mhm. Mhm.
Do enjoy the knowledge exchange and all of that, learning from each other, and contributing and supporting people. But yeah, so just knowing the boundary,
Mhm.
where to draw the,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Thank you. So I'll
Mhm.
just reflect back of what I've heard so far. So I hear part of like with this challenge, there's the even just within your field, there's almost a natural way where people are interacting and sharing knowledge at conferences amongst each other, and it's, enriching, and there are circumstances that feel it's exciting, like everybody's excited about it. And it probably, even as I'm hearing it, there is a sense, it's almost encouraged in the kind of field you work in, right? Is to share knowledge. That's what education is all about, right? But then there are times where it feels, you didn't use the word exploitive. There was a word you
No, it,
used,
it does
feeling
feel that
used.
way, actually. Used,
Okay.
exploited. Yes,
Okay.
exploited.
Okay.
Actually, I do.
I
Yeah.
didn't want to put words in your mouth, but I totally,
Yeah,
it's
like
that feeling.
used, exploited. Yes. It doesn't
Okay.
feel good, right? Like when someone uses your words and your ideas and
Mhm.
almost use it as if it's their own. And
Right. Yeah.
and then when it's kind of, I don't know, it feels performative. It's not
Mhm.
genuine.
Mhm. Mhm. Right. Okay.
Mhm.
So if you can even clarify with me, what does performative mean to you?
Performative would just be, just you're not walking the talk,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm. Okay.
yeah, not walking the talk. So you're not of integrity. Whatever you are saying, like you're actually like, are you doing it? Do you actually believe in it? And are you actually investing in what you say you're going to, or is this just for show?
Right. Right.
Because
Right.
in my realm, you can use all the jargon, you can say all of the right things, but are you really that person who believes in what you're saying and lives what
Right.
you're saying, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Thank
And then
you.
when you're exploiting and it's for money, like that's especially like to me that
Mm.
ugh, I
Hmm.
can't stand it. So
Right.
yeah.
So even what I would ask, even just as a clarifier, how to keep my boundaries when sharing my knowledge with others, is there a sense of, like if the others, like they're not paying you, they're exploiting it for their own money? Is that what you mean by exploiting for the money? Like sometimes, like if you were paid and then that was what they were wanting, how would that feel?
That's different.
Right.
That's
Okay.
different. You
Mhm.
hired me and it's for, I don't
Mhm.
know, who knows, consulting or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure, of course. Yeah. I've always been very, just very supportive and excited when people are interested in the realm, in the kind of, realms that I
Mhm.
work with.
Mhm.
Because it's all about holistic education and humanizing our surroundings through education. So, you know, those
Mhm.
those those aspects of education in and of itself is not exploitative. It's
Right.
not
Right.
exploits that. It's almost like it's not just about my ideas or, me
Mhm.
sharing my thoughts and then you using it, but at the same time, I feel like, but you're also exploiting the very essence of those
Mm.
ideas itself, and that bothers
Right.
me because it
Right.
contradicts, yeah, it contradicts each other. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so counter to the actual essence of the work.
Yeah. And so that's why it bothers me very much.
Right. Right. Thank you. And then I also heard the part of you not knowing the line. Like, what is the line between when I'm being exploited versus sharing knowledge and it's exciting? Like, not sure when that line, like when that's happening, or what's that line, or what's that boundary.
Mhm. I think
I
it's,
understand
I
it.
mean, yeah, but I think back to things like, when I go to conferences and so on, that's very different. You are just
Mm-hmm.
knowledge and everyone is there and everyone is just excited and sharing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there isn't a need, at least for me, I've never had that experience where I feel the need to have a boundary there. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I guess perhaps when, I don't know, like private businesses or
Mm-hmm.
institutions who are for profit or whatever, and
Right.
they contact me, for instance, right? I kind of have to think about how do I establish boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Thank you. So what I'm interested in, and I'd like to show this as an example for anyone watching this or listening to it, would be doing what I like to do, kind of like the polar opposites, going back and forth to assess them. So getting the idea of being exploited for your knowledge and getting the idea of the opposite of that. And then we go back and forth 3 times. And what happens is that like we have our mind about things, but then that's when we get deeper into the subconscious. And it seems like, oh my God, here we go again. We're saying the same thing or going deeper, but we're really unrooting a lot more and strengthening your inner wisdom. Um, so are you okay if I do that
yeah.
exercise back and forth? So what would you describe, how would you describe the opposite of being exploited for your knowledge? What's the opposite of that?
I guess being celebrated,
Mm,
being respected,
okay.
just supportive.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sure, and just in a genuine way wanting to not just learn from me, but almost like that knowledge exchange of learning from each other.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's genuine, it's authentic. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Are you okay if I use the term being respected? Do you think that encapsulates all of that?
Sure, yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right, okay, great.
Yeah, respect would be, I think that thing at the core, it's about that. I felt like I was, yeah, in some situations I felt like being
Mm,
respected, even though I'm being sought out for
mm,
share my expertise in some things. I mean, there needs to be some respect there,
mhm,
right?
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So we'll start with one thing. So get the idea of feeling exploited for your knowledge
Mm.
and tell me what you notice. So when you're doing that, it could be a memory, it could be a thought, it could be a feeling, it could be something in your body, just whatever comes up when I ask that question of get the idea of feeling exploited
Mhm.
and tell me what you notice.
I just notice the amount of like almost, I don't know, like betrayal or disrespect of, the years and years of hard work
Mm,
of, I guess I could say in my case, so the hard work and dedication of, you know,
mm,
not just, yeah, believing in, I don't know, in my realm, we're talking about my realm in teaching and educating, believing in relational pedagogy, holistic education, all of those things, and believing in it, and striving to live that in my life. um
mm,
it feels like when someone just kind of takes what you are saying and then uses it for their own gain or
mhm,
something, it just feels like you are taking someone else's, how do I say it? Like when you're taking someone else's kind of the heart, almost like the blood, sweat, and tears and the heart that they put
mhm.
into something, and you're just kind of like, oh, I'll just take it, and I'm just gonna
Aha.
use it because it's such a good idea, or it sounds so like genuine, authentic, whatever. Just take it and then
Mhm,
use it, and I don't know, for whatever other ulterior purposes or whatever it is.
mhm.
But that doesn't feel good. It feels very much like, hey, my whole life is about, like
Ah,
all my life experiences and my life narrative and
yeah.
the pain and the good and the bad and the ugly and everything has, made me into the person I am today.
Yep.
And, I go forward with those concepts with integrity
Mhm.
in teaching. And so it almost feels like someone is like, taking a part of me away from,
Right.
um,
Right.
yeah, without permission.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
It just,
Right. Right.
no, that's, yeah. Perhaps if it's not something that I've invested my heart into it,
Mm,
it
right.
wouldn't feel as crappy.
Right. Okay. All right.
In my heart,
Right.
my heart, my soul, my mind, my experiences and intellect and everything.
Hmm.
It just it just feels gross,
Yeah. Yeah.
sneaky. Doesn't feel good.
Right. Like if it was your knowledge of how to make chicken soup, it's something different than it's something you put your whole invested your entire education in.
But
And
even if it's
yeah.
chicken soup, if my whole life
Right.
is invested in making the best chicken
Yes.
soup and I
Yes.
studied chicken soup all over the
Yes.
world and I, you know, traveled everywhere, I learned from grandmas and this and that, and there's a story behind why I'm so invested in chicken soup, and then someone steals
Yes.
the recipe and make it their own, you that's
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it's like that.
Yes. It's theft. Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally. Yeah.
yeah, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah.
And to get the idea of being respected for your knowledge and tell me what you notice.
It feels I feel supported. It feels validating. It feels like, you know, all the years of, you know, all the hard work and, you know, my journey, you know, getting my doctorate,
Hmm.
took a whole decade. Um, it feels like it's worth it. It's going somewhere, right?
Yeah.
This is important work, and there's some validation that yes, you know, like people can see where you're coming from, and
Hmm.
yeah, and it's not something of like it's not really an ego thing. It's more just like it's landing with people. This is good. This means, you know,
Hmm.
it yeah, just about being heart centered and all of that. And when people are seeing that and they're engaging in it, that's good because
Hmm.
right, that's what we hope most people want in their surroundings, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
going to do one more time. Normally I would do it 3 or 4, but just for the
Okay.
sake of time. So get the idea of feeling exploited for your knowledge and tell me what you notice.
Well, I think hmm, there's a part of me, I feel like what I notice is that I need to trust my instincts too, right? Like,
Mm. Hmm.
um, yeah. And there has to be a part of me where I have to think, you know, when people are reaching out to me, right?
Hmm.
I also have to ask myself, perhaps, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought.
Like trusting your
Oh,
instincts or
yeah, trust my instincts. And also, you know, there's also a part of me where I get selfish and I go, oh, what's in it for me? Right.
mm-hmm.
Um, no, but then if it becomes something like that, then I question it. And then it's also like, this is something that potentially is just transactional. Because
Right.
for example, when I go to conferences or when I have knowledge exchange through email with some colleagues and in other situations, there isn't something about where I go, oh, what's in it for me? I don't think about that.
Yeah.
Just genuinely get excited, and I can see people genuinely just get excited about sharing, and it's great.
Right.
So when someone, so perhaps the boundary is there when, um, I don't know, when people almost like when they cold call you and
Right.
blah 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 blah, like want to know more about what you do and all this. It's more just like
Mm-hmm.
asking myself, asking myself honestly, right? Like, are you still thinking about what's in it for you, Lovisa? Because if you're thinking about that
Right.
already, maybe it's actually your instincts are telling you that this could potentially be something that's very transactional and it's not worth it.
Right. Right.
Right? And
Right.
I'm one for, you know, when I do something, when I engage with something, especially in education, it has to be something where I believe in it. I s-
Mm.
I believe in it. I don't, you know, that just I don't care if you're going to give me $1 million. Like honestly, if it's something that I don't believe in,
Right.
or I feel like you are actually not authentic as 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 an institution or as a person or whatever, I'm not backing you.
Yep.
Endorsing
Yep.
you, backing you,
Yep.
supporting you. I don't care. You can't buy me with money,
Yeah.
but it's more just like for me to be honest with myself. Because I
Yeah.
think for those instances, there's a part of me that go, oh, okay, like interesting. What's in it for me? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I go,
Right. Right. Right.
those
Yeah.
things never end well. Like, yeah, those things never end well. They never.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think it would be a hard one. It's a hard one when you're having to put yourself out there for work, right?
Mhm.
Of trying to figure out what is healthy transactional versus
Yeah.
exploitation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And I get the idea of being respected for your knowledge and tell me what you notice.
There's, already there's an ease with whoever I'm with. Um, yeah, there's an ease, I don't know, there's just knowing that there's a feeling. There's also a feeling of just knowing like this is a safe space where you're just
Mm,
there's a respect for each other and
mm-hmm,
bring to the table kind of thing. Um,
mm-hmm.
yeah, so there's never a feeling of am I being exploited or am I whatever, oh, I better protect my
Right.
knowledge and this. No, it's not like that. Like I think, yeah, it's I don't know. It's the yeah, I have to trust my instincts more.
Mm,
Overall energy and overall feeling that you get when you meet people, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There were some instances where I almost like immediately saw through it, but it was just me trying to give people the benefit of the doubt or things like that, and it never ends well. It just always
Yeah,
like kind of shows me like, oh, actually your instincts were correct. So just it's okay. Like just trust that in the beginning, and you don't have to give everybody the time of day. Like you really
right,
have to. You can be more discerning, and it's okay.
right.
Um, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So again, we could unpack this more, but I would just for again the sake of time,
Hmm.
just any comments or new awareness or ideas from just unpacking between those two states, between being exploited and respected.
Yeah, I think it's more like when people, situations, places, or whatever, if they cold call me out of nowhere or something that I don't know who they are and whatnot, I need to be more careful with vetting who I want to
Mm,
engage with, and also just be more continue to be honest with myself and going, you
mm,
already get an iffy feeling about certain people or situations, then
right,
but then you also see, oh, but maybe I get opportunities here for like transactional
mhm,
purposes. It's like maybe that's not the
right,
best thing because you didn't go into this, you didn't go into this realm and doing what you're doing in your life for those kinds of things. So why bother?
right,
And that's true. So
right,
so
right,
it's yeah, being honest with myself too. Right? That's more like the
right.
dark, like I don't know. I don't think it's a dark side of me. I think it's just a human side of me.
Yeah,
Oh, what's in it
yeah,
for me? But it's like, oh well,
of course.
if it's not going to be long lasting, then
Right,
why
right.
even bother?
Yeah.
It's true. It's not going to be long lasting, and it's not going to feel good. So no, even
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
feel good doesn't feel right. So yeah.
And especially when it comes to something like deeply important, like your
Yeah,
work
like the
is what I'm
deeply
hearing.
important
Yeah.
work that I've been investing in my whole life, pretty much. Like, no.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
So even we had the original problem. Things we're going to start sort of looking at, just we've come a long way. Thank you so much for sharing already so much. Like you can see how it's a big, like there's so much there, right? And
Mhm.
we could probably unpack it even more. Um, but the original issue being how to keep my boundaries when sharing my knowledge with others.
Mm.
So how would you restate or how do you see the problem now? Is it still that or is it shifted?
Again, I think, like I said, yeah, being careful with boundaries when, when it's people, places, or situations that you have no connection
Right,
with them whatsoever, right?
right, right.
So really do your due diligence
Mm,
and then
right.
honest about my own intentions also,
Mhm,
right? And if it's anything to do with transactional exchanges, then it's like and nothing to
mhm,
do with the substance of what I'm about,
mhm.
then the answer is no.
Transactional versus substance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, then the answer is no.
Yeah.
And it's a hard no. and it's
Yeah.
that is there is no compromising.
Yeah.
And I think that's clear to me now, and so that, that feels good.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
know myself enough that I'll never sell myself out. So yeah, so it's okay.
Right. Yeah. Right. And I love this part, thank you. And this part about actually trusting your instincts,
Mm-hmm.
right? That piece about listening to yourself, like honest about your own intentions. But I heard that earlier, even this idea of like, really listening to my instincts and trusting that in
Mm-hmm.
it. Okay, great. So being careful with boundaries with people, places, or situations where I don't know them from anywhere. I have no connection to them. I have to do my due diligence. I also need to be honest about my own intentions, whether they're transactional or if it's filled with substance. And if it's strictly transactional, it's a hard no.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All
Yeah.
right. Amazing. So thank you, Lovisa. So this is the idea, like in a mini session, like we'll have more layers that we would unpack and look at further. But I love already even how much insight, like, and this is what I love working with is helping people have the sweet ahas where you actually are going and going, wow, and now I see it in a whole new way or whatever. But I want to check in with you of how was that for you? And do you feel, what are you coming out of it feeling like from when you started?
I feel good. I feel good. I think this was something that was kind of bothering me, and wasn't bothering me a lot, but it was in the back of my mind. So it's good to
Mm.
that have that cleared out and just go, oh, okay, yeah. I trust myself enough to be honest with my
Mhm,
intentions. I needed a reminder for myself about that. And
mhm.
yeah, just do my due diligence with vetting
Right.
people and situations. Yeah.
So good. Yeah, I love it. I can feel this the strength or the like just sort of like
Yeah.
self convictions, are
Yeah, the
stronger.
self-conviction. It's
Yeah.
also a reminder of like it almost feels good in a sense because I know I know I will never sell myself out. So that part I'm proud of. But it's also a
Right.
reminder of that too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't buy me with money, so there you go. It's fine.
Right, right. Yeah. And to know how it feels, like, because it's so
Yeah,
subtle, right? These things are
yeah,
very subtle.
yeah,
And, there's the outright person who's totally trying to exploit you, but then these, especially if we're looking at career or contracts or whatever, it can be such a strange, mysterious thing to go, okay, do I navigate this? Do I take this?
yeah,
And
yeah.
having those standards.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Now, thank you for sharing everything. And I also like to do in my sessions a little oracle card, so the little woo-woo side. But with this one, it's really for your own insight and self-awareness, and it's always just out of curious mystery, right? So I always take these things that whatever pops up, it could be a great conversation starter, and something you might want to journal about or put it like even what we chatted about. You can add to your journey of growth. But it's kind of playful. So I'm just going to shuffle the deck and you can just let me know when to stop shuffling. For the wisdom we want, the higher wisdom around this issue that you've been dealing with. And you just let me know when to stop.
Stop.
And would you like me to pick from the top, middle, or bottom?
Middle.
Okay. Ooh, oh, I love this one. So
Okay.
it's the wisdom of Avalon deck, right?
Yeah.
So the eagle and
Oh.
it's integrity. It's all about integrity.
Yeah.
And being connected to spirit and being connected to higher values and your own truth and working with people of integrity and being in your integrity, following your path, the angelic path, not out of being pure but out of recognizing if there are shady dynamics and to be able to have that bigger picture thinking and perspective.
Cool.
So as that one lands for you, what comes up for you in receiving that one? Any just initial thoughts? And now it could go deeper, but
Just, the eagle is always been, yeah, it's always like the symbol of kind of stand strong,
mm-hmm,
have integrity kind of thing. So
mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, like the leader and
the leader and
yeah, spiritual leader.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I feel, yeah, I I'm reminded of that strength. It's good.
Mm-hmm. So cool. All right.
Feel.
Thank you. Thank you for anybody who watched through this whole series. if you are interested in booking a free clarity call, it would be very similar to this to get clear about one thing in your life, or if you'd like to do this sort out my heart session, um, that's also available as well. That's 75 minutes, and we go deeper and deeper and deeper. And the issues can be everything from what Lovisa shared today with career stuff to personal self-beliefs, to looking at dynamics with family members. It's really, everything comes from within, and everything is holistic and it's interconnected. And I like working at things, that idea that we have the answers within us and we can absolutely free ourselves and make different choices. And that can be about anything in our life, right? I even said to Lovisa she could do a session on why am I having struggles with organizing my underwear drawer. Like, it can seem small, but it can have there can be big reasons behind it. So yeah, I would love to help anybody bloom from their muck, whatever that muck may be.